So this translates, as far as breast cancer is concerned, to the following. If a right-handed woman develops a breast cancer in her left breast, that indicates that she suffered or is still suffering, if it's still conflict active, a conflict or worry conflict in regards to her child. Okay, the child is sick, is in trouble, son is taking drugs, daughter get divorced with all sorts of trouble. So this would be on the side, mother is ill and so forth. But we want to keep one thing in mind. This does not say that if we are worried that we get a cancer. Okay? It's the other way around. When a woman has a glandular breast cancer, then we know that she suffered or is still suffering a worry conflict, and that the worry conflict is the underlying cause of the conflict. So we always start with the symptoms, because the symptom indicates what is happening on the emotional and psychological level. Okay? So the good news is, with this wonderful new medicine, is that a woman not only knows now, you women here, now after an hour and a half, we learn that we now understand why a woman gets breast cancer to begin with, why the breast cancer is in the breast glands, and why the breast cancer is in the right or left side, right or left breast. But a woman that knows German new medicine will also prepare for the healing symptoms. And that is, of course, most important, because this is when we see symptoms, typically. As we learned during the conflict active phase, there are no symptoms whatsoever. There's no pain, there's no nothing. It's just the woman might detect this, as I said, through self-examination and so forth. Well, we want to understand the following. It is the psyche where cancer, or breast cancer specifically here, originates. So it is the psyche where cancer originates. So it is in the psyche where cancer begins to heal. So let's see what happens during the healing phase. As we have learned with the fourth biological law, the moment the conflict is resolved, if the woman carries tubercular bacteria, then the tumor will be broken down and decomposed. Okay? So that is, I like to call it a construction site. There is a lot of decomposing and breaking down the tumor cells, causing potentially discharge, and this discharge can penetrate the skin. It is a foul-smelling discharge. It is literally a decomposing process. And this foul-smelling discharge can penetrate the skin, and if a woman is not prepared for that, it might scare her. But if she knows Dr. Hammer's work in German new medicine, she will understand that this is a positive sign that the tumor is now in the healing process and is being naturally removed. She will also realize, as I explained, when such a tumor is broken down, there could be blood in the discharge. Of course, I always emphasize blood loss has to be watched, but blood in the discharge is nothing to be scared about per se. It is part of what is going on in the breast as far as healing is concerned. The woman will not be surprised that she has night sweats. Such a decomposing and healing process of the glands, of the breast gland tumor, can take 4 to 6 months, okay, depending on the size of the tumor. So a woman who knows Dr. Hammer's work will be prepared that this might take a little while, a few months even potentially, and she will not get scared. She will be mentally prepared and ready for that. She will understand that the night sweats are part of that healing process as an indication that the TB bacteria are doing a great job. One thing that is most significant, and this, my friends, applies to all tumors that grow, or better, that are decomposed during the healing phase. So breast gland tumor, colon tumor, liver tumor, lung tumor, prostate, uterus tumor, and so forth. When the tubercular bacteria are breaking down the tumor, they produce a lot of tubercular secretion. This is what has to be expelled, right? In this case, through the breast, through the skin. So they produce a lot of tubercular secretion. And tubercular secretion is very rich in protein. which is now eliminated. So it is essential to supplement the protein loss, because protein deficiency can cause serious complications. So we have to supplement the protein loss through a protein-rich food. Essential in order to support healing, because we have, cancer patients that are on raw food diets, on juice diets and all these things, and they get weaker and weaker and weaker, and the main reason is because they're missing proteins. So for us, when you have your night sweats, even if it's just one night, even if it's 2 nights, make sure you get your proteins, because that gives us energy. And in a case when there is a big tumor that has to be decomposed, if this takes months, this protein supplementation is essential to make it successfully through the healing phase. As we also learned, healing always takes place in a fluid environment, so there will be a lot of swelling in the breast, it will be very painful. Okay, on top of it, the woman is very tired, which is significant. She has to be tired, because this is not the time to jump around and do crazy things. This is the time to lie down and rest as much as possible, so we can support the body and doing that important healing process. So that's why there's little energy, so we need to give the body as much as energy as possible. This puts a little question marks behind cleansing, right? Cleansing can be very demanding on the body, so we have to look exactly what we're doing here, because if a woman in this case, goes through an intense healing phase and the cleansing is wiping her out, this is definitely counterproductive. So the point is to give the body energy, 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 good food, healthy food, organic food, right? We need to feed the body specifically with proteins in order to support that healing process. And of course, there's also mental support. There is emotional support. So this is when we all have to help out. So if we have a loved one who is going through a healing phase, through any healing phase, in this case we're talking about breast gland tumor healing, we have to support the loved one. And so it is good when the whole pack, as I like to call it, when the whole family and the friends learn this great work, so we can support each other, right? And encourage the person doing that healing process. And this is also the work of the German New Medicine practitioner. The German New Medicine practitioner provides an environment free of fear and panic. He or she is supporting the patient, the client, during the healing phase on the physical level if necessary, because healing is already running its own course, but support the client and the patient emotionally and mentally, okay? Because, as Dr. Hammer points out so well, the biggest complication for any healing phase and every cancer healing phase is fear and panic. Because with fear and panic, we had a presentation last few months ago at the planetarium about abandonment and existence conflict. So fear and panic causes water retention, right? And the water, usually the retained water, goes into the healing organ, and this causes more pain and more swelling. So fear and panic is physically and mentally difficult. So, and Dr. Hammer's beautiful work gives us that gift that we do no longer have to fear cancer. Okay? So we can prevent also further shocks. Well, we know this already, just to summarize it here. If the woman does not have the tubercular bacteria available or the fungi to remove the tumor will encapsulate and the tumor stays in place. So there is no night sweats, there is no inflammation, there's nothing, the tumor stays there. Okay? And as I said before, such an encapsulated tumor can be found years or decades later with a mammogram. You hit 50 and then you get a letter from the provincial whatever, and they tell you have to take a mammogram, and boom, there's a cancer diagnosis of an encapsulated tumor that has been there for years. Okay?